And there we go. It takes me so long to like start talking because I'm waiting for the little thing to pop up on my other screen and it says anyway, you don't need to know. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, some places around the world. This is Saturday, the 17th of July already. And this is the Virtual Pipe Club. And we are in meeting with all of the wonderful people. Let me see if we've got how I can do this. I don't think I have a screen for that. So we'll just have to do this. Nope, that doesn't work either. Trust me, there are people over there who are at the Virtual Pipe Club in the Zoom room. And here they are right there. See, I wasn't lying. That's the Virtual Pipe Club right there. And we are also simultaneously streaming this live to both Facebook and YouTube. And so if you are over there on Facebook and YouTube watching, as a whole 5 people are right now, welcome. And today especially, want to invite you to be a part of the conversation. And if you've got some questions, thoughts, comments, howdy doodies that you want to send to our special guest speaker, today is that day, and I will pass along your questions. I'm watching the chat. I'll be your voice. I'm your voice. Oh, by the way, I'm David Dorian Ross, one of the founders of the Virtual Pipe Club, and we're going to start off with that thing that we do every week, which is talking to all the people who are here about what are you smoking, and what are you smoking it in, and to do that, I am happy to have, let me see, somewhere here, this has got to be, there we go. See, those are the people I was looking for. And we're going to get my friend Miguel to help us out with taking us around the group, seeing what you're smoking. So, Miguel, take it away, brother.
Thank you, DDR. Welcome, everyone. This is new. It's about 3 hours earlier than the normal meeting. So let's start with what we're smoking today. I am smoking a Sabinella Deco 104 with McBaron Virginia #1. And I will pass the virtual pipe to Tim Heineck.
Thank you, Miguel, and good morning, everybody. Today, I am smoking Reiner Golden Flake, really nice tobacco, in this Sir Jacopo Maxima, which is a really big pipe with an elegant bend. And if you look here, it's got this curve, and I wonder how they did that drilling, because somehow a pipe cleaner can get down in there. Don't know how they did it, but it truly is amazing, and it's a very nice smoke. Bought this from a very good friend of mine, Andy Kamir, at one of the pipe shows. He always has a great selection of pipes, and always has a great collection. So very happy to be smoking this today. I'm going to turn the virtual pipe over to Louis Carbone. Good morning, Louis.
Good morning, Tim. Greetings, everyone, from Queens, New York City. Thank you, DDR, once again. So today, in keeping with our Danish theme, I'm smoking a Hans former Nielsen sandblast. I got this pipe for a number of years, and in it, I am smoking PNC Anniversary Cake or Russ Roulette blend, and that's aged from 2009 in the jar. So very tasty, very, very tasty. I see a familiar face that I would like to pass the virtual pipe to. And good day to you, Mike from Briar Blues.
Morning. I'm smoking a Radice set cut with some Escudo, which is normal for me. And I'll pass this on to Patrick Grant.
Thank you, Mike. I'll be smoking a Taupe Chacombe Dublin with a nice white stem. And in it, I'm going to be smoking some bacon old fashioned that was gifted to me from Steph Kane, as also the hat which I won on the auction for that auction that Jason had. This is the hat that I had her make for me at part of the auction. So that's what I'm smoking. I'll pass this on to Sean McConnell.
Good morning. Oh, am I muted? Hold on a second. Sorry.
You're unmuted.
I'm on. All right. So keeping with the theme, I have my Nordine small church warden, and I'm loading up some golden slice. And because my iPad is not working, if someone wants to jump in, be my guest, because I can't get to the big screen.
All right. Why don't we pass the virtual pipe club to Dennis?
Here, let me unmute. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. I'm smoking something called Balkan Supreme that I picked up from my local pipe store. I think it's the standard Balkan Supreme that you can pick up everywhere. A Maestro de Paya that I picked up on eBay a while back. Good pipe, good smoke. Let's see. Who else is not here yet? Miguel, were you on yet?
Yeah, I just did.
I'm
did.
sorry. There you are.
Okay.
So I'm not awake. Nikolai Liberoth.
That's me. I'm smoking my Iltang pipe with horn, and inside I have our house blend, the brown sugar flake from Samuel Gareth, Everton as well. Very good, nice, mature Virginia, and I'm a Virginia guy, so yeah, it's a good combo. And I think I'm gonna ask Mr. Sabalas if he's there. Miguel? No.
Yeah, if you're Miguel, actually, I just went. Why don't we pass the virtual pipe to Dimitri?
Hello, everybody. I'm starting the day with the early golden slice, and today I brought my Danish pipe. Now I'm smoking my W. Larsen.
All right, well, you two have fun.
I also brought this
Right,
Eric Norden, and I have this Stanwell 70 shape, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Iverson's design. And let me pass the pipe to Justin.
Good morning, everybody, or evening, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Today I'm smoking just a little bit of Peterson's Elizabethan in my Peterson pipe. It's a St. Patrick's Day pipe. I like it a lot. It's nice. How about we hand it on over to Ramachandran?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everything to everyone. Today, I'm smoking Virginia Straight of McBaron's from my Blackmar Bulldog. And subsequently, I'll be smoking from my Molina, another bent Dublin here. So let me pass it on to Stephen Emas.
Thank you. In honor of our guest today, I have a 50-year-old Eric Nording, and I've got some Lane's HGL in it. I got some of that out because Shane Ireland was talking about one of his videos, Silum Black, and it was interesting because it had all the same components of a Burley, Virginia, Black Cavendish, and Latakia. Sure, they're probably in different ratios. And then for my second pipe today, I've got a devil's ants that I got from a maker in New York who maybe Dimitri and everybody else knows up there. His name is Pedro, and the company was Unique Briar. Do any of the guys from New York know this guy? Well, maybe not.
Yeah,
I will
I heard the company name Unique Briar, but I don't really know anything about those pipes. I just know the name Unique Briar.
He was doing a lot of these devil ants, and the price was like half of what everybody else was charging. I think I paid $75 for this one, and it's a great smoker. Anyway, I'll pass the pipe to Bud.
Hello, everybody from San Diego. I am smoking a Stanwell 180 Barrio 183, and I'm smoking some Black House 10th anniversary blend in that, which I really enjoy. And let's pass it over to Russell Little.
Thank you, Bud. I'm Russell, also from San Diego. And this morning, I'm just smoking some Amphora Burley Blend and the San Lorenzo Spitfire Pop Pipe. And in keeping with the Danish theme a little bit later, I'll be smoking out of my Previn home Dublin style. How about Thomas Bowes?
Look like we're having technical difficulties. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't quite catch my name there. Good day from kind of hot and dry Colorado. I'm not a morning smoker, but this afternoon I will be having some Esoterica Dunbar and smoking it in one of my favorite pipes, which is a Savinelli Tundra Prince style. Not sure what number this is, 315. Big bowl, it's great for vapors. It's one of the best smoking pipes I have. So I will pass on now to, let's see, we got Bud. How about Aaron?
Good morning or good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Aaron from Tokyo. I'm smoking from a old Stanwell number 86, and I'm smoking some Samuel Galwith full Virginia flake this evening. And I'll pass the pipe off to Bill McCullough.
Good morning, or good day, or evening. I'm smoking some GLP's Abington, pretty Latakia Ford blend in a Joe's Church Warden. Joe's, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it smokes really well and it smokes for a long time. And I'm enjoying it. And I don't see anybody else's. Let's see, John in North Carolina, how about you?
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, everyone, or good day, as the case may be. I'm smoking a Rossi this morning, and right now I have in it some Peretti Wild Cherry. So with that said, I think I will pass this on to, let's see, Sean McCammon.
Yep, good day, everybody. Thank you. I have a little bit of Mac Baron Dark Fired in the Savinelli Eleganza. This is a 622. So this is my, I think I've watched a couple of the Zooms, but haven't actually joined them live. So appreciate you having me as part of the group. And Miguel, I was a little bit late, so I don't know if maybe you know somebody who could take it from here that hasn't been called on already.
Yeah, just jump in if you guys. I don't see everybody, so any. What about Thomas Bowes? Did you? Thomas already went. It looked like everybody actually this one. Why don't we pass the virtual pipe club to DDR?
Well, I think I can accommodate that. It's good to see everybody this morning, by the way. And I know that there's a few people. Stephen Emus, did you go with your sharing this morning? Yes. Okay.
Yes, it did.
He has his hand up. And that means either that they haven't gone yet, or that they're asking to go to the restroom. It's down the hall, first door on the left there, so you can take care of that. So we have a bunch of people over there on Facebook and YouTube, and they're sharing also. But of course, I have to put my glasses on so that I can share that with you. Jeff Bader says he's smoking some Mad Fiddler Flake in an RNA Treasures pipe that he fooled with. A couple of guys are smoking Tom Eltangs. So, of course you are. And Steph is over there. Steph's so confused because she's like, am I in a different time? Is this the Twilight Zone or is this the Eastern time zone? Yes, a special time today because of our special guest that we're going to introduce here in just a moment. I would have had one of my Danish pipes to smoke today, except that I've been smoking them all week long, and so they're all on the rack to be cleaned. And so I'm smoking a Greek pipe today. This is a Janos Kokinos pipe, and I just, me, I'm just a sucker for the odd and the unique and the bizarre. So it's an excellent smoker with a very large bowl. And in it today, I have some 2014 Brunello Flake, which is like very coffee chocolatey in the tin note. And so I'm really looking forward to.
That's tasty.
Yeah, it is tasty, very much. Gotta welcome all the people who are new. I think the special guest that we have today has wonderfully attracted some new people into the Zoom room today and over there on Facebook and YouTube. And I just want to acknowledge you guys and say thank you for coming. You are so welcome to be here. I hope it's not the first and last time that you come to these meetings. But please don't be shy. Throughout the meeting today, I stop and I open it up for everybody else to ask questions and talk and stuff like that. So it's really very democratic. For all that I'm a big talker, talk, I'm going to try to stay in the background as much as possible. So having said all that, let me jump into introducing our special guest speaker today and a little bit also about why we are at this special time. So as I said in the Facebook post this morning, the Danish pipe shop, amongst all of the different pipe and tobacco shops across the world, is probably one of the meccas, probably one of the places where if I had a special wish and I could just go to one pipe shop, it'd be the Danish pipe shop in Copenhagen. And I'm excited to introduce today the owner, principal owner, co-owner, inheritor. We'll let him clear all that up in a moment here. Nikolaj Nielsen, and he's in a different time zone. On top of which, he rides his bicycle to and from work. So we made an agreement to have this special time so he's not stuck in the middle of the night riding home in the dark. So with having said all that, please welcome a very special guest, Nikolaj Nielsen from the Danish Pipe Shop.
Thank you.
So let me actually, I wanted to do this other thing here so that I get out of my big mug. There we go. So welcome. And I think the first question that just to kind of get the ball rolling. So you basically grew up in the Danish pipe shop.
Yes, I'm I'm born in 1970, and my father, he took over the shop, or he started the shop in 1969. So I was 1 year old and was brought to work since I was a small kid, and playing around with all the pipe boxes in the basement, which was quite annoying for the staff. But so it was my playground, and that's also how I learned all the industry, the pipe makers, etc. To know from I was born.
What was that like? Other kids, sometimes kids will grow up in their father's shop or going to work with it. My father was a teacher, and he often took me to school with him so that I, got a chance to see classrooms and that kind of thing. What was it like to grow up in a pipe shop, and what kind of people would come in every day?
Well, I think, I can't remember from all the old time back, but when I was a teenager, I was there a lot and started to help out. And I think that the pipe business has changed. I remember that we had more hardcore smoking customers than we have today. Today we see more and more customers that are smoking pipe maybe once a day or once a week or once a month. So it's a different clientele, where in the older days, especially in Denmark, people smoked a lot of pipe because it was simply a cheaper way to smoke. Because in those days, the tax on pipe tobacco was very good for the pipe smokers, and so basically we had a lot of pipe smokers only smoking pipes because it was cheaper. Today people, they smoke for totally different reasons, and I think the pipe smoking market has changed a lot, so it looks more and more like the cigars has been for many years.
This is a great topic. I was going to bring it up a little bit later, but since okay, you brought it up, so one of the things that really caught my ear was you said that in the old days there were more hardcore pipe smokers. Does that mean that they were smoking more during the day? Like you said, some people smoking once a day or a couple of times a day. Were people smoking?
They were smoking all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, and especially you can see it on the burley sale. The burley is the tobacco you have the highest nicotine content. So definitely the burley sales has declined a lot because those kind of smokers they are not here anymore. So maybe a few, but it's very interesting to see.
Do you remember any particular customers from even from your teenage years that you can tell us a little story about?
What do you mean? Just so I mean that there has been many. We of course, if you know a little about the pipe shops in Copenhagen, it was when I was a kid, we had the V.O. Larsen pipe shop, which was a very fine, nice, exclusive pipe shop. And then we have the Pipe Dan pipe shop, and then we had the Turman pipe shop, and then we have our shop. And the Pipe Dan shop was very much for the architects. They were much for the more intellectual customers. V.O. Larsen was for the more rich people, for the how do you say that, the member of parliament and the royals, etc. And my father, he always said, well, we are for the people. So we had it was very funny when especially in the 80s and 90s, that the different pipe shops, they had different clienteles. Because also one has to remember, this is before the internet was a part of the pipe business, which it is today, luckily.
I had no idea that was such a spread. What happened to all those other shops? Are they still there, or did they start to?
Unfortunately not. pipe band closed around 92, Veo Larsen in 2005, and Thurman many years ago. So for many years we have been the only one left of the original Copenhagen pipe shops, and many think that we were pleased about that when the other shops closed, but for us it was a problem, and then it's a problem that we still struggle with the day to day, because in the old days there were suppliers that actually could live from selling pipes, tobacco, and import stuff for shops like ours. These suppliers, they cannot live from having 2 customers in Denmark, so they are not there anymore, and that puts us in a situation where we have to import a lot of stuff, and we have to have bigger stocks of different things. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these things, specialty things that we need to have to keep our reputation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I know competition is always viewed as something negative, but actually without competition, you don't have much of a market.
Yeah, and also what happened when the Veo Larsen was a big shop. So when they closed in 2005, they had a big sale, and so they sold, I don't know, maybe 5,000-10,000 pipes in 1 month, because they had to clean out the whole stock, and that meant that the next year my father, he nearly didn't sell a pipe because everybody had stocked up by Larsen. So he was not happy with them closing. He was not happy with them having this sale because it was not good for the business. But luckily, we survived.
Can you tell us a little bit about your father, and what was he doing before he bought the Danish pipe shop? And has it always been called the Danish pipe shop, by the way?
It has had different names, but also the sub name has always been Danish pipe shop. But it was called, and that tells a lot of my father. When he bought the shop in '69, he bought it from a guy called Mr. Hansen. And the shop was more liquor, dry cigars, and little pipes. So my father, when he had bought the shop, and Mr. Hansen actually still helped him, he removed all the liquor, and then he filled up all the walls with the pipes. And Mr. Hansen, he thought that he was crazy, but that was what he did. And then he kept the name, the company of Paul Hansen. He didn't ever change the name to Mr. Nielsen, as my father's name was, and I don't know why he did it, but I think it was a gesture towards Mr. Hansen. So, but before he bought the shop, he was actually in another fine pipe shop in Copenhagen called Wilhelm Jorgensen. And a funny thing about that is he was the first man in that shop, and one of his employees were the famous Danish pipe maker Jens Tau Nielsen. So they were actually working together in the 60s.
So what prompted him then to want to buy into his own shop? He was obviously working in, and had a good position in the other shop. Was it a dream of his to have his own store?
Yeah, definitely. He wanted to be independent. And he had a basic education in, I don't know what you call it, if you get an education in running a grocery shop, a supermarket, but from the old days. So that's actually what he was educated for. And then he stepped towards the pipes, and he loved pipes, and he loved the industry. So and he wanted to be independent. So that was what he did.
Did you ever ask him how he got started?
Oh, I probably did, but I think I know that he borrowed money from a friend to pay Mr. Hansen, because what you do here is that you pay a certain amount for getting the location, but you actually don't own the building. So you pay what we call key money, and to get the key for the shop, and then you pay the rent to the guy who owns the building. So I know he had to borrow money for paying for the key to Mr. Hansen.
And what about just being a pipe smoker? Is this along like your grandfather smoked pipe and then your father smoked pipe and your sister smoked pipe?
No, I'm actually my father, he smoked pipe, and I have smoked pipe since I was 15. So but my grandfather, he smoked a little pipe, but not on the level as we do. So, or my father did. So.
Well, let me pause for just a moment here. I know we've got a nice big group of fellas who are in the Zoom room here, but also a bunch of people over there on Facebook and YouTube. So once again, let me go ahead and invite you. And I'm just going to kind of open it up to everybody. You don't have to be shy. Just ask your questions if you've got anything that you want to talk about. Then we'll come back with some more of the notes that I have. But let me just go ahead and open that up to anybody who has some questions.
Yeah, I have a question for Nick. Nick, thank you for joining us. This is a treat because I watched your YouTube video maybe 5-10 times with regards to the moving of your old store to the new store. And I vividly remember you're smoking this pipe.
That is true.
Yeah, and then one thing I never been to your shop, and one thing I like about what you guys did on the new shop is you basically have a separate display now for your state pipe,
Yes.
which is fantastic. So I watched it about 5-10 times. Now, my question to you, Nick, is that you've been in the industry for a while now. Where do you see the industry going? Do you see the industry like pipe smoking increasing in clientele, or and what are the changes that you see? Because some of our guests that been with us is they see a lot of young generations, young people actually going towards the pipe smoking. So where do you see the business? Do you think it's growing in the next 5 years, next 10 years?
Well, basically, you can say that in general, the sale of tobacco worldwide is decreasing. But what happens for a shop like ours and some of our colleagues around the world is that when all the other pipe shops around the world, local shops are closing down, we are the only one left. So in a way, the number of shops is declining in the same pace as the number of smokers. But then I also need to say, and many people get surprised about that, I think in this shop we have, even today, I think we have had 4 new guys coming in saying, I want to smoke pipe, can you instruct me? I have this budget. And so we spend a lot of time on that. And that has been going on for more than 20 years now. And there's no... it's definitely the internet has improved it, because we as a shop can ship pipes all over the world now. So now our clientele is not like in my father's days without the internet. He only had the local and maybe some tourists coming to Copenhagen, but now we have the whole world, and we just need to be good at that. But and then also to answer your question, I hope that the business will stay in the level as it is right now. But I'm also scared because we are hunted by authorities worldwide, locally, and it's getting more and more crazy. For instance, from the April 1st, we were not allowed to show pictures of our tobaccos online. So you can only read a text And I know from some people that they were actually, and when I say they, that's the Danish authorities, they were actually also playing around with the idea that it should be illegal to show pictures of pipes. And that would actually kill my business. Then we were be close. So I'm glad, but I'm also a little nervous about what will happen, because we are getting hit by stuff that we cannot do anything about.
Thank you.
Yes, Nikolai. Eric Stockaby told me that Denmark has highest percentage of pipe smokers probably in the world because taxes on cigarettes in Denmark were very high and on pipe tobacco much lower. Is it still the same, or how is it changing now?
I think actually still we are the most pipe smoking country in the world if you compare to how many citizens we are. Because one has to remember we are only 5.5 million people here. So, but the number is, it depends on how you count it. But I think we have around 150,000 pipe smokers in Denmark.
On that note, Nick, there's hold on a second. There we go. There's another question over there on YouTube, which is very, very similar. So maybe I just want to follow up this other aspect. In terms of the people who are smoking in Denmark, and quite a high percentage there, the question has to do with in the U.S. And in some of the other Western countries around the world that smoking, as a general rule, is sort of politically incorrect. It's a naughty vice, and that in some places it starts to limit the access to tobacco in particular, whatnot. Are you experiencing the same kind of thing in Denmark, or is it different?
You mean if they are giving us more and more limits to show tobacco? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, we're not allowed to show pictures of tobacco online anymore from April 1st. And then we have these stupid rules that because we are a specialty shop, we may actually show cigars and pipe tobaccos here, so you can go in and see what we actually have. But in other shops where they, for instance, have a little pipes and a little tobacco, but mainly liquor and wine, they have to cover the pipe tobaccos and pipes, etc. They're not allowed to show it. So it's getting more and more strict here.
And what does that do to price as far as the cost of tobacco in Denmark?
They are cranking up the taxes all the time, so it's getting more and more expensive. But the crazy thing is that we cannot feel people don't stop because they increase it, and they keep increasing it, but it doesn't help. So it's crazy.
Very cool. Gentlemen, please, I know I hijacked that last question, but go ahead if you got some more questions for Nick. Just pop right on in.
What's legal smoking age in Denmark now?
Pardon me?
What's legal age for smoking in Denmark?
18.
Okay. Yeah, because in the United States years ago they changed it to 21.
To 21.
Yep. It used to be 18. New York City was first place where they changed it to 21, and now it's all over the country, 21.
Yeah. But basically, also around the age, in our shop, we don't see young people. Young people here, they are maybe in the end of the 20s, and it's mainly cigarette smokers who wants to convert to pipe smoking, which I naturally think is a very good idea.
Nikolai, yeah, I've seen. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nikolai. I was going to ask. Obviously Denmark has a tremendous history of famous pipe carvers who've changed the world of pipe making, and I'm wondering, just given this whole discussion about all the restrictions about tobacco and pipes, what is the climate there as far as like new artisans coming, new Danish artisans taking up the craft? Is that something you're seeing any of, or is that something that's slipping away?
Well, I think we see new guys popping up all the time. Unfortunately, some of them they pop out again because it is extremely difficult to establish yourself as a pipe maker and also make a living from it. I have some examples that are not that old on very good pipe makers that couldn't make it work. But we shall be pleased that we have a guy like Tom Eltang here, because he is very good at spreading his knowledge, and he's also been behind two of our young stars here, Johannes Sir Pipes, and also a guy called Mike By, and they are very, very talented. But it's difficult because if you guys try to calculate what's the price of a handmade pipe and how much do you guys want to pay it and how many do you need to make per year to make a decent salary, it's not an easy task to do.
I agree.
Well, considering how much work involved in making good pipe, it's amazing that somebody is actually able to make a living just making pipes.
Yeah, it is.
Nikolai, this is R.P. Haran from India.
Hello.
Hello, yeah. I just wanted to know, you mentioned about the rules that are becoming more and more stricter and literally strangling the business in Denmark. Maybe that's there in every country. But considering that you've got such a great legacy, such an old shop, and Denmark being a capital of pipe smoking, I mean, do you have any plans to counter these things? Because at this rate, I mean, today it's become an ATM for the government and the authorities. They milk this piping industry like anything, and still the consumers are ready to pay any price to keep that hobby. But in the long run, I mean, if you're not able to show your products, if you're not able to, advertise, how are you going to do business maybe 10 years from now? It may not be tomorrow, maybe day after, maybe after a few months or after a few years. It's not a good thing. So are you people doing anything to counter or lobby with the government to not be so unreasonable?
Actually, I am a member of the board in a how do you call that, a community of shops of 400-500 shops in Denmark, which is mixed with the
something
tobacco,
like
wine, etc. And they are
something
doing
like a
a
trade
lot.
association.
Yes.
Something like a trade. Yes. Okay.
And they are doing a lot of lobby work for it, but the problem is also that I think the tobacco industry here in Denmark is very weak, and they're very scared of doing anything. So it's difficult also because many of the politicians, they don't want to touch tobacco. But in terms of what do we do? I mean, for me, we have a good business today, and I hope that we can continue it this way. And maybe we need to be to go a little back to the way we did it in the old days, where we generated new customers by giving tourists here a super treatment. So they brought us home, and then they ordered online, and that's going to be more and more important because. For instance, I'm not allowed to send out a news mail to you guys with news from the. That's illegal here. That's they interpreted that as advertising for tobacco. So if I send you guys a news mail with look at these pipes, I can get a fine around $10,000.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And we have I have a colleague that got such a fine, and some years ago, we didn't know all the laws, so we actually showed pipes on Facebook, and we got a fine for showing pipes at Facebook. So I mean, I don't want to sound negative, but that's just the circumstances that we work with, and so I'm not complaining, but it is getting more and more tricky to navigate.
Sean, why don't you go ahead there, brother? I see you've got your hand up.
Do you hear me?
Sean.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious, what are the top shipping jurisdictions that you send to, outside of your home country? Where are you shipping to most prevalently?
Well, I mean, it's literally the whole world. It's from New Papua Guinea to the whole Europe, Hawaii, the States, naturally China, Philippines. It's Mexico, everywhere. So it's really worldwide. I'm so proud and also a little surprised that we get orders from all around the world, and sometimes some very, very exotic places that I didn't even know existed. So,
Yeah, Nikolai, I have to say that your service is excellent. I bought a Peterson estate pipe that completed my Sherlock Holmes set. And I think I had it in 3 days or something like that. It was arrived beautifully, and it's amazing. I'm living here in Massachusetts, and USA, and here from Denmark, it arrived in a few days in great shape. So I appreciate your service.
That's great to hear. Thank you. But regarding shipping in general, the Corona period has been a disaster for everybody, but also in terms of shipping, because it has been very, very tricky. Especially some of the postal services have been super slow. So we can hear from one US customer complaining that it took 30 days, and then we can hear from one guy in New York said it took 3 days, and as you say, Massachusetts as well. So. Yeah. And we are trying all the time to find out how things work the best way, but it has been challenging the last 12, 14 months. But what I think is fantastic is that we ship around 10,000, 12,000 packages per year. And I think the last year we have lost maybe one package. So everything will arrive eventually, but sometimes, especially because of the Corona, it takes a little longer time. And I hear that at the postal services there have been some problems with people. The staff didn't want to touch the packages, so they didn't want to scan them, and so but everything arrived in the end.
Miguel Zabalos, why don't I see your hand up? Just jump right in, brother.
Yes, thank you very much. Do you hear me? Because I think I've heard my name before when you were passing the pipe. I couldn't reply to Nikolai, so I hope you hear me well. First of all, good afternoon, Nikolai. Thank you very much for being today with us. The first thing, I'm smoking your 15th anniversary pipe from Sour Anatang, if I'm not wrong, which is one of the best. I have a couple of them because it's the price quality is just outstanding. I was going to commend you that even in the worst time of the pandemic, I got my packages from you. So I mean, it's just a matter of being patient, but the packages arrived. So you did a great job. That's number one. Number second, it was funny because you were saying that your shop is like for everybody and so on, which I believe. But when I have to buy a special pipe, I go over to you, because you have a great artisan. So it's just it's a place to find those pipes that they're not easy to find everywhere else. I frequently buy from you guys. So having said that, my question to you, Nikolai, is I know that you have over 5,000 pipes or 6,000 in your shop. Mm-hmm. But what are the most sold pipes? And after that, what are the most, the ones that people really bet for those, and just hours in your shop. The most sought artisans. Probably you will answer me Nana Iverson, but besides those, which are the ones that are really looking forward to buy from your shop?
First of all, hi Miguel, nice to see you. First of all, I think because our name is the Danish Pipe Shop, our customers they look for Danish pipes. It is Nero pipes, Winslow pipes, Nording pipes, Eltang pipes that are sold a lot, and also for the locals here, they are crazy about the Stanwell pipes. So I think it's about 1,000, 2,000 Stanwell pipes per year we sell here. So that's I don't know if that answered your question.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you also asked.
I would imagine so, but I wanted to hear from you. Yeah, the second question, Nikolai, if I may, is that we always know that there are people looking for those special pipes, very rare special pipes that they belong to very special artisans. And I can imagine that the ones from Nana Iverson are very difficult to find, and once they're in the shop, they're gone. Besides Nana Iverson, which are the you would say the artisan that people is looking more forward to that? Ones that really special ones that you get a bit from, I don't know, from China, from Argentina, from Alaska, whatever.
Yeah, I would say the most wanted pipes are the pipes, as you say, from Nana, but also some of the Tom Eltang's shapes are always in high demand, and the former former Nielsen, I think it's crazy. Every time we get new pipes from him, they disappear very fast. So I would say definitely those three in terms of how many who wants the same product. But in general, I think there's a very good flow in the sale of the Danish brands, and I'm happy for that because we are here to support the Danish pipe makers.
Thank you, Nikolai.
You're welcome, Miguel.
Let me, there we go. Whoops. There we go. I have to get my picture
Anyone
going.
else wants to ask anything, don't be shy.
Nick, let me, first of all, I have a question that came up through YouTube over there. Do you have, I have to put my glasses on, Peter Hessian pipes currently?
Peter Hessian, I think we have one estate right now. I can't recall everything. They actually call me the Rain Man in here because I can remember the most crazy details about what we have on stock because unfortunately a lot is still manual and in my head. So I'm quite sure we have one. No, we don't have any Peter Hessian. We had one a while ago, but he's like Miguel asked for about who's the most attractive. Then when we talk about estate pipes, naturally 16 Nielsen, Peter Hessian, Paul Ilstedt, and guys like that are under strong demand because they're not making pipes anymore. So you can only get them as estates.
So I'm curious then, as you talk about your inventory runs in excess of 5,000 pipes in the shop at any one time, between artisan pipe carvers versus factory pipes like Peterson or Stanwell or Savinelli, what would you say is the percentage of your inventory?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say in the high grades, I mean, handmade pipes, we have maybe, I would say that's about 10% of the stock. Yeah, so about 500-600 pipes. Because I'm counting in also the nearer pipes and the Winslow in the more affordable range is actually handmade as well. So, but of course, the factory pipes in numbers they take up a lot, because if we have just if you take our Stanwell catalog, if you look under pipes Stanwell and see how many lines we have, and each line they have maybe 12 models. So maybe we have 5-6 on stock of each. So it's a lot of pipes.
But
so, Nicola, maybe for this group, it's good that you talk a little bit on your My Own Blend tobacco that is not so familiar for so many US colleagues, because I think it's outstanding quality that you have and a wide selection. So maybe it's good, informative comment from you, from My Own Selection brand that you have in your shop.
Yeah,
that's a great question, Miguel. So that's I was going to bring that up. So that's called G Flake. Is that correct?
No, G Flake is actually, but it's made by the My Own Blend guys. But what Miguel means is I need to take this brand. I need to do it like this. My Own Blend is a Danish brand where they hand blend all the tobacco in 100 gram tins, and there are, I think, about 20-30 places in Denmark where you can find My Own Blend, but we have the largest selection. We sell around, I think it's almost 20,000 tins per year from My Own Blend, and I think we have 100 different types of tobacco, and it's My Own Blend is owned by Scandinavian Tobacco Group, but it's a company within the company. So My Own Blend, they run very independent, and it's a guy called Lasse. Maybe you guys should actually have him because he's in Europe probably the guy who knows most about blending tobacco, and he has earned a lot of prizes of doing different mixtures. And so what My Own Blend do is that they have access to Scandinavian Tobacco Group's inventory of tobacco, and then they choose the best tobaccos, and then they process it in different ways. And that also means that I'm very into designing tobacco myself. So in cooperation with them, we can make some shop brands that we then can sell here in the shop.
Do you have a blending room in the shop that you work in, or you just get everything from outside?
We get everything from outside, which I'm very happy with right now, because it would take up a lot of room. If you have a shop and you imagine that I should have 2,000-3,000 of these empty before we mix the tobacco, I need probably a bigger location. And since we moved 5 years ago, and I will never forget the move, that's not going to happen right away.
Awesome. Let's come back to that in a minute. I want to talk more about the shop, but I know that there's some other guys who have some more questions. I want to turn it back over to them. So I see Sean and also Fadi have some questions, and I'm going to try to get Mike Lukler to come back and ask some questions. I know I can read his mind. I know he's got questions that he's just holding on to. But Sean, let me just pop over to you, brother. Go ahead.
Well, just really quick, more of your opinion. I know there's a push on bulk tobaccos being put into bags that you can't see the tobacco, and the text on it can be very plain. Here in the U.S., I have a can of a Scudo. All the art's there. We have a little warning on the back. I know in the UK, half of that's gonna be taken up by warning labels. Do you think in the future that they trying to hide tobacco, as it were? Do you think they're going to limit all tin art? Because I know some guys at the shows love to collect tin art, and there's a lot of time spent in your branding with tin art. Do you feel like at some point in the future that may completely just go away to a bland, your name, the tobacco, and that's it? What do you think?
I think it's going to happen, but I also think it's going to take some years because luckily the legislation here in Denmark is also the EU, the Europe, and they are not looking at the pipe tobacco yet as a problem. So with the new laws I talked about from April 1st, they have to have plain packages of chewing tobacco, rolling tobacco, but the exceptions are cigars and pipe tobacco. So we are still allowed to show the label, but still we do have this quite big warning piece that needs to be on both sides. But I mean, we can live with this. It would be a shame if everything just turned black and then a small print could be on the backside. But actually, I know that in Australia, it's like that. They have plain packages also on pipe tobacco.
Super. Fadi, I know you have a question. Go ahead.
Thank you, David. I would like to greet all the fellow members of this club. And I would like to ask Mr. Nielsen about the Danish school of pipe making. We know that British or English pipes and French pipes were among the first pipes to appear. And there are characteristics for each school, I would say, school of pipe making arts. Would you give us an idea or a presentation of the Danish pipe making school?
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a long show, but I will try. First of all, the Danish pipe making industry started especially under the war, because in the 1920s up to the Second World War, everybody here smoked the English pipes. But what happened was when after the war, people didn't have any money, and when they broke their pipe, they needed someone to fix it. So, and this is how 16 Iversen he started to make pipes. That was he should repair pipes. So the guys repaired the pipes, and then they found out that they why don't we do it ourselves? So and many ask me, why are the Danish pipe makers so good as they are? And I think it's the whole woodcraft history and the architectural mindset. I mean, we have a lot of very well-known architects. So that combined has made the design for me, I can see that the Danish pipe makers, especially a guy like Tom Eltang and Hans Former and some of the others, they are outstanding in making handmade classic shapes, elegant classic shapes. And I always, when we have a new pipe maker, and I don't care if he's Danish or foreign, I always ask them to cut a classic shape, because that's how I can see, is he or she good at it, or are they just doing freestyle? Because that's where you, in a way, can say who are the good ones and who are maybe not that talented.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point. Well, basically, if somebody can make perfect billiard, that person can make any shape, either
Yes.
classic or freehand, and it will be good pipe. Like
Yes.
usually billiard is like golden standard. It's one of the simplest, at the same time, probably most difficult shape to make.
It is the most difficult shape to make. Without mentioning names, one very well-established Danish guy, he showed me some classical shapes, and I didn't buy them because I didn't think they were good enough. and that just shows how difficult it is, and that also show how good some of these guys are in the proportions, in the lines, and I always look at the pipes where do they have this bump here, or do they go in like this? And that's on the classical shapes a must for me, and that's how you can see who can do that job.
If I may just ask another question, how much interest or attention do you reserve to the grain?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
The grain of the wood, of the briar. Yeah. How, what percentage of interest or attention you reserve to the grain? Or it's more important for you the measures and the shape, or the grain has its importance?
If you mean when I shop for
yes, when you want to buy your pipe.
Good question. It depends on who it is and what price level it is, and then it also you need to know the pipe maker. If you take a guy like Hans Former Nielsen, he really likes his cross grain. So I'm not looking for straight grain on his pipes, because I know that he really likes to cut cross grain. But it also, I mean, it's also a question of price. If a pipe maker asks $1,000, $2,000 for a pipe, it needs to have some nice grain, I think. So I mean, I see about 50, 60,000 pipes per year. So I have a scanner, and it's who made it, what's the price, and how does it look, how's the balance, which I also find very important. And maybe interesting for all you guys, a problem I see on many pipe makers, and especially the new guys, are the finish. How to polish a pipe so it's sellable and also durable. Because one has to remember, if we get a pipe into the shop, it's exposed to light and hands, etc. So it needs to look very good, and we have. I would dare to say that Denmark have some of the best pipe makers in the world to make the final polish, and I have offended a lot of pipe makers by getting their pipes, and when I give them feedback, many of them, they want me to look through, and after I bought it, and then I give them feedback on what I thought about it, and I often comment the polish, and they are not happy about it, but they listen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Steve Spent, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, David. Nick, first off, thanks so much for being with us today. Yeah, I guess the question I had was around pipe tobaccos. First off, is it true that the majority of Danish pipe smokers heavily tend towards aromatic blends? And if that's true, what is your opinion as to why that is?
Honestly, they are all over the place, the Danish pipe smokers. We sell everything. So I wouldn't say that Danish pipe makers only smoke aromatic. We have the birdie smokers, we have, there's a guy there, and we have English blends, etc. So we have it all. I think it's very, if you take the aromatic, English, pure, and semi-aromatic, it is 25% on each in a way.
Okay, thank you. That just goes to show you how stereotypes can be very misleading.
No problem.
Alvin, go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you, DDR, and thank you, Nick, for coming on today. I'm in a remote area of Texas, and I've farmed the grandkids off, so I could not miss this show. So I just wanted to tell you that. I have when there's a pandemic opening, I'm going to visit your pipe shop in Denmark. And I was wondering, do you get a lot of domestic travelers? And I know it's maybe a before pandemic question, but are you getting a lot of domestic travelers from the States to visit your pipe shop and from other countries as well?
Yeah, if we pretend there's not a pandemic, we have a lot of guys coming in, and especially from the States, and we have some of our best customers and friends from the States. They mainly fly here to for the pipes and take a week here. And what I do with those guys is that I arrange that we can visit some of the pipe makers. I mean, Denmark is a small country, so it's not that difficult to reach some of them. So I know some of our American customers, they have had the time of their life here because they get really into it, and they can stay in the shop. Of course, not sleep here. Well, they could that as well. But this thing with visiting the pipe makers and looking at the new pipes in the shop, that's a nice thing. And the pipe makers are very open. I mean, they're not reserved. So if I ask if we can come, they're always like, okay, no problem.
Outstanding. Well, I will suggest that to my wife and tell her that's what we've got to do because you suggested it. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's Nick's fault. Honey, we're spending our retirement money going to Denmark, and it's all because of Nick there. Jürgen has made it from the drum room, and I see he's got his hand up. And then Mike Luckler, you walked off there just as I was saying. I can read your mind. I know you've got questions, so I'm going to come back to you in a second. But Jürgen, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. I'm just here to say hello and goodbye in the same time because I have a little barbecue with my brother. He's on a vacation here for 2 days, and a good friend is coming by. And I have one question for you, Mr. Nielsen. I'm a happy customer of your pipe shop. I've bought 3 Altang Basic pipes, and I love the My Own Blend series, especially the series. Old and classic blend. And I have seen in the last years, shipment is not possible to Germany since 2 years, and now I have looked on the prices. They went up it doubled since 2018, I think. Is that a regulation thing between Denmark and shipment of tobacco into the world, or what is the reason for that?
The reason why we don't export tobacco is that that one have to take liability. So we have to make sure if we ship a tin of tobacco to a certain country, we have to have certain countries' tax stamps on, German warning, etc. And so the EU is quite aggressive right now. I've heard that the German tobacco shops are now shutting down export from Germany to the rest of the world as well.
And I find that really ridiculous because the EU was founded on free trade.
Yeah, I can only agree with you.
It's a little bit ironic, I think. And I feel with you. It must be horrible because that was a good amount of your income, I think. Most of the pipes, but tobacco was not unnecessary thing that you do for nothing.
But that's a good point because honestly, tobacco is a very bad business here compared to German and US shops. If you take a tin of My Own Blend, we make about €2.5 or $3.
Yeah. You're trading with taxes and a lot of custom regulations. That is also an alcohol is the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your answer, and I've thought about it because if we order something from the US, it's the same problem. You have some custom that are letting going through, and some say no, you have to have the German warning signs on it, and it's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Okay, have a good. Yeah, have a good evening. I'm out for this meeting because my friends are waiting and the grill is hot, I think. Have a good time.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jürgen.
Good to see you, Jürgen. Awesome. Mike, pop in there, buddy.
Okay, thank you, DDR. Well, Jürgen asked and got the answer to one of my questions. That was the international shipping of tobacco. So the other question I have is, I see you're in the shop and smoking your pipe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm based in Canada, and there used to be 8 shops in my area. There's now 1, and there is no smoking indoors, even in the pipe or cigar shops at all. So
No.
in Denmark, are you permitted to smoke indoors only in tobacco shops?
You're not allowed to do that officially.
Yeah,
But,
being the boss, you
when-
break the rules. It's okay. I understand.
When the authorities are here, we say, what can you do with the traffic? We have customers, regular customers coming in with a pipe in the mouth and smoking and buying their stuff, and they don't care. And actually, the last time the authorities were here to check it, they gave up because I said, well, I cannot throw people out, and they were like, okay, bye-bye. Officially, we are not allowed to do it, but we have a smoking lounge downstairs where you can smoke. Normally, you are not allowed to smoke in your office. But there's nobody here. So.
Yeah. Here they've eliminated even the option of having a separate smoking lounge.
Yeah.
And just to give you a heads up, Canada is plain packaging on all tobacco products.
Yeah.
And nothing worse than walking in and looking at all these tins and cigar boxes wrapped in khaki paper.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wish you
when
good
it's
luck.
a plain brown wrapper like that, you don't know if it's tobacco or porn. It could be either.
And if you don't know if it's black market or if it's legitimate.
No.
It's true. I knew you had some good questions there, Mike. It's good. By the way, Mike's got this good screen behind him, but it brings up an old saying that my father always used to tell me: don't smoke anything bigger than your head. And I think you're breaking that rule right there. Nick, I have a couple of questions I wanted to sort of piggyback on. First of all, I want to share some of the questions that came from our YouTube group, and then get into some questions about the shop. One of our viewers of the Bud Drums is saying, I think talking about Danish pipes and Danish pipe design, said, how did the air hole get larger? I started loving Danish pipes because they had such a tight draw. Is it imagining it, or did they become larger as a fad?
So you mean if they have changed the way they drill the tobacco chamber or the draft channel?
I think he's talking about the draft channel.
It depends on what pipe maker we are talking about. They use different sizes, but I don't think it's something that has changed over the year. It has always been like that. But we do see many customers being very picky on the draft hole. So sometimes we actually change the draft hole for them if they want it wider. Naturally, it's difficult to make smaller. So I don't know if that answered his question.
Very nice. So does that mean that you have a repair shop in the shop as well?
I know some pipe makers.
Oh, you know, I know a guy who knows a guy. That's the
I
way.
mean, I have 10 thumbs, so and Tom Eltang, he has seen me with machines, and I'm never gonna be a pipe maker. So, but actually, we have talked a lot about having a buffing machine here, and but if we had a separate room where we could do it, I would maybe do it, but it creates so much dust. So we have all these pipes hanging around, so we needed to. I mean, we wipe all the pipes off at least once a week, but if we had machines in here, we had to do it once a day, and with the 2,000-3,000 pipes on display, it's I need some more staff then.
Got it. Well, so I want to move on from there and ask about your lounge. So I was going to ask if you had a lounge. Now you've said that you've got one downstairs. You didn't have one in the old shop, is that right? Or did you have a smaller one?
No, the old shop was totally cramped. We had 65 square meters, and so there was no space for a lounge there. So that was one of the reasons why we took this location, because we wanted better display, more room for the customers, and then we wanted a lounge where we could park the wife and the children when people visited us. And that works very well, actually.
So the lounge is not a smoking lounge.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I see. Okay,
This is Europe, so kids can smoke, and it's gonna work fine. So I mean, for me, as long as it's the parents taking the control, because I always inform if they have children, I say you need to know that people come in here and smoke, just so you know, and that's how it is. But so we are not a chicken shop.
How busy is the smoking lounge?
Corona has closed it down. So, but in general, we have maybe two free visits per day. But it was especially used by our regular foreign customers, business guys traveling a lot to Copenhagen. So they had a pit stop here and could work on their computer and smoke a pipe, and then they could go to the next meeting. And of course, these guys haven't been here since the pandemic situation. So we look forward to getting them back as well.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's not being used that much, when Alvin and his wife come, maybe you could put a little bunk bed down there for them.
No problem.
Yeah,
I would appreciate that a great deal. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So there's one aspect of the Danish pipe shop that really intrigued me. I've never seen this before, and that is you have a layaway plan.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How does that work, and how did that get started? And
but actually, it's from my father's days. It was like if some of the regulars came in and they saw a new Paul Ilstedt pipe, and in the 80s, maybe that pipe cost $500 or $600, and they couldn't afford it, but really wanted it. My father said, well, if you leave me $10 or $50 on it, it's your pipe, and then you can come and put money on it, and when you have paid the amount, it's your you get the pipe. So what we did is we actually just converted that idea to the internet, so you can choose a layaway, and then you pay through PayPal as you like within a year. We don't charge interest or fees or anything, so we do it because because we are nice people, and we also understand that sometimes you see the perfect pipe, but maybe you can't afford in just that minute it comes, and then the layaway plan is a way to get it.
that's so awesome. Does this cover any pipe in your inventory, or do you limit it? It's like only these pipes.
No, it's everything. I mean, you have to buy for minimum $200. Otherwise, we don't do it. So it is $200 plus pipes. But we see sometimes people are buying 3 or 4 pipes on layaway, and it is, of course, because many of our pipes are unique pipes, so there's only one of each. So if you are a guy who really wants that model and don't have the money, that's the way to do it. And as long as we can, I mean, we pay the pipe makers right away, so of course it hurts our liquidity a little, but as long as we can, in the end, make money, it's fine with me. It has never been a problem.
That is so wonderful. Do you find that a lot of people take advantage of that plan?
I mean, I think we constantly have maybe 10 layaways lying around, and then they get paid, and then a new one comes in. So honestly, I don't want too many because we don't have the space for it, and we need to have control that this is David's pipes and not Mike's pipe. So that's my only fear, that we get so many that we mess up the system. But in general, I think we have good control on what we do.
That's amazing. I'm trying to figure out right now how I can sell one of my children so I can get a Tokotomi.
Yeah.
I know that this is always a little bit of I want to focus on you because you're our guest and you've been so generous with sharing some stories, but I also want to talk about your father. So because you know, he was the one who started it and set some of your traditions in place and whatever, and I know that you must have some stories about your dad in the Danish pipe shop, and maybe if you maybe for some famous customers that you had back in the day.
Well, we can do that, but I actually think what is a little interesting, because I know Nording is very famous in the States, the Nording pipes, and Eric Nording, who is today 82 years old and still behaving like a teenager, he was my father's best friend, and actually this shop was the very first shop in the world to carry Nording pipes in the end, just around 69, 70, I think it was, just after he had tried to start up another pipe brand, Nording. And when I was a kid, Mr. Nording and my father, they liked their draft beer a lot. And at the old location, we had 3 bars. We had one just beside the shop, and one across the street, and one little 25 meters down the street. So Friday afternoon, Mr. Nording always came, and my father, he took off a little early, and then they went to bar number 1 and bar number 2 and bar number 3, and had a lot of fun. So that's one of my memories of being a part of the shop and my father.
Yeah, I just want to add that Eric Nording is very good friend with Rocky Patel. He made series of pipes for Rocky Patel. Also, each employee of Rocky Patel Cigars got individual pipe from Eric, and Nording cigars are made by Rocky Patel.
Yeah, that is true.
Quick question here.
I know Patels pretty well, and I know a lot of people who work for Rocky.
Yeah, he should be a nice guy. I've never met him, but
Rocky Patel is a wonderful guy. He's also, he's actually a lawyer. He used to be like celebrities lawyer in California before he started his cigar business. His brother Nish and cousin Nimish work with him as well. Now they have one of the best cigar makers in the world working for him for like last 5 or 6 years, Hamlet Paredes from Cuba. Okay. And Rocky is also a musician. He's a drummer. Not a professional drummer, but he's still a good drummer.
Interesting.
Let me throw in a question that came over from YouTube again. This one is a little bit more technical about design. He says, what are, where'd it go here? Can you explain the difference in style between the Danish billiard and the English billiard, and how the particular Danish style arose? Does that make sense?
That's a tricky question, I would say. But I know when the English factory pipes, like Dunhill, Comas, that they were doing their best work. I actually know that was the inspiration for some of the Danish pipe makers in how you do the lines, etc. So today there are none, well, there are Dunhill, but in general there are not other English brands to compare the classic billiard. But I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly.
Well, I think that this gentleman has noticed that in his looking at the different billiard pipes that he has seen from Danish designers and ones that he gets from England, that there are some characteristics that might be slightly different. And so if I'm interpreting his question correctly, it's like, is that really a thing? First of all, is that really a thing? And if so, was it a deliberate act on Danish pipe makers' part to make something that was uniquely Danish influence on the billiard shape? Does that?
No, I think a billiard is a billiard, no matter if it's made in England or in Denmark. But in the end, when you look at the billiard, you can see if it's a perfectly made billiard or a not perfect billiard. And so that is how I see it. And basically, show me today an English-made billiard if we take out Dunhill in this conversation.
Can we say, excuse me, can we say that Danish pipe makers prefer acrylic stems, for instance?
No. If you're talking about the high grade makers, they are all using ebonite except Paul Winslow. Paul Winslow, he hand cuts acrylic stems. But if you take them all, Manduela was here today and with some new pipes, and Tom Eltang, everybody else, they use ebonite.
Yeah, well, also in Europe, they use a lot of acrylic.
Yeah, they use acrylic. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, but most of high-end Danish pipe makers use ebonite. Oh, Nicola, can I have another question for you about your personal preference in pipes? Do you have like favorite shape or favorite maker? What you prefer to smoke?
You have to remember, I'm friends with all the pipe makers. I don't dare to say which one is my favorite, because then I don't get any supplies the next year.
Well, then what about shape? Do you have your favorite shape? What you prefer to smoke?
I love the poker. Actually, the poke, because I smoke when I work in here, so the poker is just so practical because you can put it away and it sits. And then in general, I think I'm into pretty small pipes because I have a tendency to keep them in the mouth so I don't smash up my teeth too early. And then I also like now we are talking about Danish style pipes. Just 1 second. This shape, this is the Dan shape, and this is actually my own original pipe Dan pipe. And this one has been reproduced by Tom Eltang and also by the shop here in cooperation with a producer. We had it in a way a copy of this original, just in a modern version with Stanwell tenons and acrylic stems. And I love this type of pipe as well because I smoke a lot of flake and I don't want to rub it out, so I just stuff it and smoke it. And
I'm sorry, guys. Peterson Pipe of the Year in 16 was like this, the high billiard.
So sorry.
Peterson's Pipe of the Year in 16 years, in the 2K16, was like this, the high billiard itself.
Yeah, but also
Chimney.
with this, where you have this straight upgoing shank, because this is what makes this pipe very unique and also very 1960s and very Danish.
Hey, Eric, I have a question. Since it's kind of a Nording question. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a Nording. I bought this, almost 50 years ago. And if I remember correctly, let's see, let me get that in the right place. There we go. Stop moving around. Anyway, I think I paid about $80 for it. If you were to buy a Nording pipe similar to something like this today, what type of price are you looking at?
I think today, I mean, that one has incredible sandblasting, so it has probably been one of his higher grades, but I would say something around $200 plus minus. Ooh. Yeah. But if you if you paid $80 50 years ago, then that was probably also a lot of money at that time.
It seemed like it.
Well, I have to say that the Norwegian pipes are still very affordable, especially considering their quality, engineering. Well, Eric is engineer actually by education, so his pipes are perfectly designed. They are amazing smokers, all of them.
Yeah,
but yeah, and it's amazing how inexpensive they are even now.
Yeah, this is a hammer, I'll tell you.
I want to pop
Thank
in
you
for
very
just
much.
a second here because we are approaching the hour of letting Nick bicycle home, but also but not yet. So don't you guys go anywhere. Don't get all excited. I do just want to make a couple of announcements so that when we do get to the end, everybody can just swoosh on out. So for those of you who have tuned in late and were wondering what the heck are we doing, or if you're watching this sometime in the future, we have a very, very special guest today, Mr. Nikolai Nielsen from the Danish Pipe Shop in Copenhagen. And we hope to have you back again, first of all. We talked a little bit about doing a virtual tour of the shop.
Yeah.
So after the meeting today, this coming week, I would love to just chat with you, see what your availability is. What do you think, guys? Should we do that with the Danish Pipe Shop?
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
yes.
Definitely yes.
Please.
Yes.
All right,
Will the government allow it?
We keep it between us.
I like that answer. we just keep it between us, and then yes,
Okay.
Between us and Zoom.
between us, Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, and all of those people. So bear in mind that we're working on that as a special event for an upcoming meeting, and we will let you know as soon as I can bribe Nick into coming back. And then also I wanted to give you guys a heads up on some of the upcoming guest speakers. On the 30th of July, we have Artur Lopez coming in, the famous artist, the Van Gogh of pipes. Actually, he's more like the Norman Rockwell of pipes, really. So anyway, he is famous for the paintings that he has done for smokingpipes.com and a lot of other magazines and whatnot. So he'll be here on the 30th. In the month of August, we have Lee Van Urk. Lee Van Urk, as people that you may remember from Father the Flame, and he'll be our guest on the 24th of August. Can't be here for the week before that, which is what, the 17th or something? No, So I kept getting the times wrong for the meeting today. I'm sure I've got the dates wrong, but the weekend before is the weekend of Columbus Pipe Show, and Lee will be there, so he can't be with us. But the following weekend, he'll be here with us. And then the last Saturday of August, we're going to take a virtual tour of the Country Squire with John David and John David Cole down at the Country Squire. So that's some of the guest speakers and special events coming up. Pull out your pencils, pens, crayons, felt tip markers, and ink quills, and mark your calendars for all of that kind of good stuff. We still do have some time left, and so I want to throw it out once again to everybody here in the Zoom room, or if you guys are. Oh, by the way, I should make this announcement too. Nikolai, I really hope to see you personally next summer. I am leading a tour. I just as part of my day job, I'm leading a tour of people to Sweden next June. And I'm going to try to tack on an extra week so that I can come to Denmark and go to the Mecca and visit you, visit Tom, and whoever else I can wheedle my way into seeing while I'm there. So
we can make it happen.
That would be really awesome. And so I might drag a couple of these guys with me. So we'll see what we can do. Now, having said that, let me turn it back over to the group here. And if you've got a last minute question or curiosity for Nick, throw it out now.
Yeah. I would like to know if you please, do you sell online? Is there a site online for your shop?
Yes, danishpipeshop.com.
Okay. And I live in Lebanon, Beirut. Do you send to Beirut, or there are some regions in the world that you deal
worldwide? I mean, there's not a country that we are not shipping to. So Lebanon, I think we have customers there, and the whole Middle East area, we have a lot of customers, so it shouldn't be a problem. Of course. Postal services for Lebanon right now is maybe pretty slow, but I'm confident that it will get through. Otherwise, you can always choose courier service.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I used to buy from Danish Pipe Shop online a few years back, but then I remembered that there's a note saying that they no longer ship to my area. Maybe I was wrong. I'm in Malaysia.
Are you talking about tobacco now, or are you talking pipes?
Oh yeah, I buy pipes and tobaccos, but maybe the restriction was for tobacco, is it?
Yes, it is. You can easily buy everything else but tobacco. And so that is shipped worldwide. So if you have seen a message, it has been regarding the tobacco, and the web shop will tell you you need to remove these products. I'm sorry that it is like that, but I cannot do much about it. Sorry. Yeah.
When you ship to the United States, Nikolai, what type of add-on would a customer get tagged with when it comes in?
The most used is something we have a service with the USPS and the Danish Postal Service called Tracked, and that's around $10. But I will say that the backside with that type of package is that one needs to be patient. It can be there in 5 days or in 2 weeks, but it will come. But and it's so cheap because we collect it in bundles, and that's why we can offer a good price. So it works.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, I have a question about collaboration, because I watched one of your YouTube video. When I said about collaboration, because one of your video you talk about hosting wine and then single malt whiskey as well on that video. when industry is hit by a lot of regulations, sometimes they do collaboration with other industry. Are you still planning to do that, hosting like winemaker and whiskeys to your store? Because I think you have space now there to host winemakers.
Yeah, actually, we have these events, of course, not the last year plus, but normally we have 1-2 events per year where a pipe maker comes and visit the shop and showcase some new pipes that people have never seen before. And actually, last year we had rented a very nice location just not far away from the shop where we had created Copenhagen pipe show, and that shall be on the Saturday, and then we have a tradition in the month of March where we have the Danish pipe smoking competition in Copenhagen, and there's also a pipe show. So what we do with our show is that we present the Danish local makers, maybe a few foreign ones, to get people to come to Copenhagen, and then they are by us Saturday, and Sunday they go to the competition and show. And I have to emphasize that the Danish Pipe Club is doing a fantastic piece of work with the Danish competition. And I also want to stress that because we have many people saying, well, I don't want to go there because I'm not joining the competition, but it's also a social event. There's also a pipe show. There's lots of estate pipes, and actually their location, it's a private club that they are borrowing the space from, so you are allowed to smoke there. And that's crazy because then you have 300 guys in a room smoking pipe at the same time. But it's very nice. But one have to wash the shirt in the evening when you come home to the missus. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, I actually you did. Basically, the question was, I mean, I remember one of your video you talk about, wine and hosting parties at the shop that you can showcase some wine and some single malt whiskey. Are you still planning on having that kind of events there, so that you basically what I'm talking about is basically some industry that hit by a lot of regulation. They normally collaborate with other industries, like the wine industry, like the whiskey industry, so that it will promote the business as well of pipe smoking. Yeah.
It's I now recall I said it in that video, but to be honest, I've been too busy to do the next thing. So I've focused on getting the pipe makers in, but you're right that we should maybe do something. We're also talking about there are some very interesting guys that are doing TV shows, and they are smoking pipe as well, and maybe get them in here and make some kind of show with them, and combine it with whiskey. Or you're right, so that's on my to-do list.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Miguel, for making Nick's to-do list longer now, because I think we can all see that he has not much to do in his life right now. But so I know that there's a lot more questions that we didn't get into today. So, for example, we didn't talk at all about some of the other people involved in the Danish Pipe Shop, as is, I'm sure, public knowledge that Tom Elting is one of the part owners of that. And I trust me, I get what you said about, I don't want to talk favorites, because then it'll make all the other pipe makers feel bad. But I would love to, come back and talk a little bit more about, what you like about some of those different pipe makers that you know and deal with. And also, one of the questions that came up on YouTube was talking about whether you inherited any pipes from your father, and if you've got some of those. But let's save that for another show, because we're getting close to the end here. And since the plumber is coming right now, I'm gonna end us just a couple of minutes early.
And
So
just a quick note that
please, yeah.
That Tom is a partner of the shop. That is true. And then my one of my sisters, she's also a very important part of the shop and also a co-owner. She's doing all the behind the scene work with the financial economy, invoices, etc. And she's doing a fantastic job. And without her, we would not look as we do because she's doing all the stuff that I don't like to do.
Does she smoke a pipe?
I'm trying to teach her, but she's not there yet.
She needs to hang
Don't
out
give
with
up.
Nana a little bit more there.
Yeah.
Well, as I always do, I just want to just thank you so much for your generosity with your time.
Of course.
Let us not forget that it is very late where Nick is right now. Here, I'm on the west coast of the U.S. in California, and it's only 10:30, so it's not a big deal for me. But you know, Nick has given us 2 hours of his late evening after a whole day at the shop. And so, Nick, thank you so much for that. You're just really generous. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And on top of that, I
Thank
got
you.
too much red wine last night. So, but I'm fine.
Wonderful. I mean it with all my heart that we want you back again, and we'd love to do a shop tour, and then have some of the questions we didn't get to today.
Not a problem. I would love to do that, and I would love to show you guys the shop. We can just I can use my phone for the meeting next time, and then we can walk around, and I can show you the dungeon as well. That's where we keep the big stock of tobacco.
I thought you were going to say that's where we keep my sister.
No, not yet.
That would be so awesome. I'd love to see that. I want to let everybody go. I always end the meetings with a couple of things. First of all, to again say thank you to Nick for his time, but also something else occurred to me that I want to just acknowledge and say a big thank you for. So although I'm in the U.S. here, and we've got quite a number of people who are in the U.S. and Canada and in the U.K. or whatever, let us not forget that we have many members who speak a different language. And I think it's very generous on everybody's part that they come and they will speak English to us. By the way, your English is awesome, probably better than mine. But just the fact that you're going an extra step to communicate and share with us and tell us stories in English rather than your own language. I think that's just, it speaks again to the generosity of the pipe smoking community. And I want to acknowledge that. I don't want to just like step over that and not say we notice and we really appreciate it.
We can do the tour in Danish.
You can do the tour in Danish. All right. So everybody, next week, Google Translate is on.
Then we can see how quick all the followers they jump off.
We'll switch back and forth between Danish and German, and and then Jürgen and Oliver will know what they're talking about. Okay, guys, here's the thing. Once again, to this week, do what you need to do to stay safe. We thought we were through the pandemic, and then all of a sudden we have, a new mutation of the zombie apocalypse gene here. So if you need to go back to wearing your masks or washing your hands or just staying the hell away from other people, whatever you need to do. I'm not telling everybody what to do. I just want you to stay safe, be healthy, because I want to see you back again next week. Yeah? I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an awesome week. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Bye,
Nick.
everybody. Bye,
We do
thank you,
appreciate
Nick.
it.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Nick.
See you
Bye.
next time on the tour.
See you next time,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you, Nikolai.
Thanks, Nick.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great week, y'all. Computer, turn off desk light. Turn off studio light.